Thank you for joining us this morning. As we all know, 2020 was one of the most challenging years any of us have faced or hopefully ever will. It is important to recognize and demonstrate our appreciation to all the government leaders protecting us during this pandemic. We all owe a debt of gratitude to frontline healthcare workers, essential service providers. Thank you for the work that you do. While we mourn for those that we have lost and empathize with entrepreneurs and individuals who have been hardest hit, there are success stories and new opportunities that we should acknowledge and celebrate. First, the entrepreneurs and business owners in our community never saw failure as an option. They pivoted, dug deep, and they positioned their companies to not only survive, but in many cases thrive during this pandemic. Secondly, I want to acknowledge each of the partners that we have in economic development, and there are way too many for us to name. You demonstrated a can-do spirit, what we've known in Atlantic Canada as to be our culture. Being in the trenches, working collaboratively with you has been rewarding, and I know that those supporting economic development in this region, we are much stronger. Thirdly, I want to recognize the Ignite and Knowledge Park boards. As a volunteer board, you have had to dig deep to support the team with the mandate that we are responsible for. Leadership and governance during a period with unique challenges. At the same time, we have some of the largest projects that we have ever had. You needed to lean into those challenges, and you did. Finally, I want to acknowledge our team. You who have worked hard to overcome the many challenges of 2020 as we serve the economic development strategy and responsibilities for this region. I am proud of them, and I am proud of the successes that you have achieved. So, who best to share with you the highlights from 2020? I will turn it over to the Ignite, Knowledge Park, and Planet Hatch teams.
Look, when the pandemic hit, the first half of 2020 was primarily spent on job recovery, which is distinct from job creation. We quickly oriented our services to support those businesses hardest hit by the pandemic. A central priority, for example, was our Economic Development Recovery Plan, which was developed and launched alongside our key stakeholders to leverage growth opportunities while supporting those businesses hardest hit with those services and programs such as our new e-commerce accelerator. Kelly, I know the startup sector produced many of these new jobs. Can you tell us where those jobs are coming from and who exactly are creating them?
You're right, Andrew. COVID had an uneven impact across different sectors. For example, personal services and tourism were hit hard, while IT, construction, and startup-related jobs increased. Some of those businesses took advantage of our impact loan. We also used the impact loan to help others pivot, like those in the food and beverage and education sectors. Let's ask the rest of the Planet Hatch team to help us better understand who is starting these new businesses in our community.
That's right, Kelly. We know that historically more businesses are started in recessions, so in some ways the pandemic was good for entrepreneurship, meaning that some people were forced to find economic security through entrepreneurship, and some simply had time to turn that hobby into an actual business. And Daniel, we've seen more variety this year in terms of the sectors in which new businesses are being started, haven't we?
You're right, Hannibal. More startups are launching in diverse sectors like tourism, retail, education, and clean tech. That's why it's so important for us to work as a sector-agnostic entrepreneurship center. Business opportunities abound in every industry.
So the face of entrepreneurship is changing as well. Last year, we saw more women, more Indigenous, and more newcomer entrepreneurs than any other year in our history. In fact, 49% of all entrepreneurs we worked with last year were newcomers.
So we've talked about who are creating jobs in our community, but as we know, it's one thing to create jobs, yet another thing to fill them. Let's ask our workforce development team about how they approached the challenges brought in 2020.
Our major source for workforce attraction has been the virtual events in which we participate and engage international skilled talent. We have established partnerships designed to host such events and provide us a wider outreach relevant to our most thriving sectors. One of the many strategic partnerships we've leveraged over the year is our designated referral partner status with IRCC for the Global Talent Stream.
Another major contributor to the entrepreneurial landscape is the Startup Visa Program, which was very active during the year with over 315 expressions of interest submitted, 78 applications received, and 5 approved files.
The early phases of the pandemic showed that the connection between the job-seeking workforce and businesses was broken. This led to the creation of a continuously updated list of open job opportunities in our region, designed to reconnect those people and companies. The feedback we've received has been exceedingly positive on both fronts. This, together with one-on-one consultations with employers and company spotlights, has worked like magic to create perfect matches between job seekers and businesses needing to build their skilled labor force.
Educating those looking for employment has also been key in this new virtual world. Several webinars were organized where experts taught best practices for online interviews, using social media to assist in the job search, and also learning about expectations from employers when working in a remote role. Phase 1 of our immigration strategy complements all these efforts.
The Cyber Centre is the largest capital project in Canada, dedicated to research, development, commercialization, and operations, all centered around critical infrastructure protection. Where are we now with the project? We are now in the leasing phase. We currently have 4 clients making their preparations for their move into Cyber Centre. Some of these clients are investment attraction files that we have actively worked on with the support from Investing Canada and Opportunities New Brunswick. Why Fredericton? Well, we have a long history of firsts and excellence in the area of cybersecurity. Within the innovation corridor, you will find numerous research organizations and chairs, tons of multinational and locally grown companies, startup incubators and accelerators, and academic institutions all collaborating on different projects, leveraging existing strengths to create a special ecosystem that is unique within Canada. In fact, we're predicting over 1,500 positions with annual salaries over $80,000 in Fredericton over the next 5 years. That kind of job growth helps everyone. As we say, a rising tide lifts all ships. Adam, tell us how job creation supports everyone.
Each time that a new job is created, it means that a new paycheck is going home to a family. And that paycheck is being spent at other businesses in our community or to support local organizations. And whether that means buying a new house or putting a kid through hockey, each time that a job is created, we all win. Based off of our 2020 job creation results, over $18 million in new paychecks went home to families in our community last year. That translates into over 39,000 meals bought from local restaurants, and a year that we know that they badly needed our support. It also works out to nearly $3.3 million spent on housing, over $3 million in transportation, and nearly $1 million more spent on recreation activities. For a community like Fredericton, that type of economic impact is really powerful. And while we are very proud of the work that we've done to support small business owners and entrepreneurs in our community, we know that we don't do this work alone.
We have vital strategic partnerships. Each one of us at Ignite Fredericton, Planet Hatch, and Knowledge Park work closely with partners and stakeholders to ensure our clients receive the best possible support at any given time. Partners like the Fredericton Chamber of Commerce, the Multicultural Association of Fredericton, Opportunities New Brunswick, Working New Brunswick, the Local Immigration Partnership, and so many more collaborate on a regular, if not daily basis. Our touchpoints with our colleagues in the Greater Moncton region, 3Plus, and the new Regional Economic Development Agency, Envision St. John, and so many others across the province enable us to align and promote the province as a whole. As well, academic partners like the University of New Brunswick, St. Thomas University, New Brunswick Community College, and the New Brunswick College of Craft and Design. And of course, none of this would be possible without the financial support of the City of Fredericton, Town of Armagh, Village of New Maryland, Province of New Brunswick, and ACOA.
I am sure from what you just heard from the team, you would realize that this was a significant year and a significant amount of work was put in economic development in support of this region. The results during the pandemic year are different, and they certainly are different than the previous years. Some objectives were changed to reflect the realities at the time. Others were added as conditions changed. And as new opportunities emerged, we adjusted, we worked to accommodate the new normal. Looking into 2021 and 2022 and beyond, our economic agenda will continue to focus on providing support for all business sectors, maximizing those that have significant potential, such as the knowledge and/or technical sectors, biotechnology, agri-tech, artificial intelligence, and engineering. We've also made significant investments in cybersecurity. More than 700 jobs exist in this sector. With forecast job shortages at a global level approaching 3 million, we will continue to lead this sector and increase our efforts going forward. Population growth and workforce development will be critical to our future success, and immigration will be a primary strategy to achieve that. Remote work will be one of our leading strategies to attract new investment and lower the employment barriers between urban and rural resources. As mentioned during the presentations, the investment that we've made in technology has allowed us to take advantage of remote work opportunities. And with the safety that our province has been able to demonstrate during COVID is another example of how we can deploy technology and actually expand the investment attraction capabilities and further grow the economy in the province of New Brunswick. Expanding our support for startup opportunities and focusing on entrepreneurial development will continue to be a priority. As in years past, our partners and stakeholders are critical to the support of what we do, and one of the most important elements of an economic development agenda. We thank them very much for their continued participation. So thank you for joining us today, and thank you for your support.